All right, let's talk about it. The single biggest debate in all of sports, right? The one that starts arguments everywhere, from the pub to your living room. We're going to dive right in and tackle that huge question in the beautiful game. So, who is the greatest footballer of all time? There's no single right answer, and honestly, that's what makes this so much fun to talk about. Is it all about the numbers, the trophies in the cabinet, or is it something more? That pure, jaw-dropping magic with the ball? Well, today we're going to break down the legacies of the players with the absolute strongest claims to that GOAT title. Okay, so where do you even begin? You gotta start with the OGs, right? The two men who literally created the benchmark for greatness. They're the ones who set the standard that every single player we'll talk about today has been measured against. And first up, of course, is the man they just call the king, Pelé. I mean, this guy wasn't just a footballer. He was a true global icon. He made this sport a language everyone could understand. He was all about joy, about excellence, something that went way beyond just the 90 minutes on the pitch. And when you look at his achievements, wow, but there's one that just stands out above everything else. Count 'em, 3 World Cup titles. Just let that sink in for a second. It's a record that's never been matched. And when you add in over 1,000 career goals, well, yeah, you can see why FIFA named him the player of the century. It just makes sense. And this really says it all, doesn't it? Pelé did not just play football, he changed football. He was so ahead of his time, so unbelievably creative, that he really did change the entire game, how it was played, and how the whole world saw it. All right, so let's shift gears to our next contender, Diego Maradona. And what a contrast. If Pelé was this perfect, polished king, then Maradona, he was the flawed genius. This force of nature with so much raw talent that he could just grab a game or even a whole tournament and make it his own. And his defining moment? Oh, it has to be the 1986 World Cup. It's pretty much universally seen as the single greatest performance by one player in the history of the tournament. I mean, he basically single-handedly dragged Argentina to that trophy. And let's not forget what he did in Italy. He became a literal god in Naples for what he did for that club. And this quote just nails it, captures the whole essence of the man. Yeah, he was a complicated guy off the pitch, no doubt, but on it, he was perfect, absolutely untouchable, a true footballing genius. Okay, so now let's jump forward to the modern era, an era that was completely, utterly dominated by a rivalry we've never seen before in sports history. For more than 10 years, these two guys just pushed each other to insane new levels. They didn't just break records, they obliterated them. They totally changed what we thought was even possible for a single player. So first up, we've got Lionel Messi. You could call him the maestro, the complete footballing artist. And he really does have it all, doesn't he? The impossible dribbling, the out-of-this-world vision, the perfect passing, the clinical finishing. It's like he just downloaded every attacking skill into his brain and mastered it. And look, if you need just one number to get a sense of his unbelievable, sustained excellence, it's this. 8. 8 Ballon d'Ors. That's the award for the best player on the planet. 8 of them. It shows a level of consistency that, honestly, we might never ever see again. And this quote is just perfect. Messi makes the impossible look normal. Because he did. He pulled off these footballing miracles so often that we all just got used to it. It became normal. He completely rewired our brains about what a player could do week in, week out. And on the other side of that epic rivalry, Cristiano Ronaldo. You could call him the machine, the ultimate athlete. This guy is the living, breathing definition of hard work, dedication, and just pure ambition. The power, the speed, the way he hangs in the air, that lethal shot. He's a complete physical marvel. Because with Ronaldo, his legacy is written in the record books. We're talking about the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the sport. For him, it wasn't enough to just win. No, he had to destroy every single record that stood in his way. And when you put their careers side by side like this, the numbers are just mind-blowing. You see Messi with more Ballon d'Ors, Ronaldo with more Champions League titles. But you know what? The stats don't even tell the full story. The real magic was how they fed off each other. Messi would score a hat trick one night, and you just knew Ronaldo would answer the next day. They never let up. It created this era of two kings ruling at the same time, something we've just never seen before. But hold on. Greatness isn't always just about who scored the most goals or won the most trophies, right? Some players are on this list because they were visionaries.
They literally changed how the game is played and how we even think about it.
And there's no better example of this than Johan Cruyff. This guy was both a brilliant player and an incredible thinker. His ideas are literally the foundation for the kind of football you see from teams like Barcelona or Man City today. It's that old saying, he was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers.
He was the brain behind a system called total football, and the idea was revolutionary for its time. Basically, any player could play anywhere. Defenders could pop up and score, attackers would track back and defend. It created this fluid, beautiful, and totally overwhelming style of play that opponents just couldn't handle. And he wasn't alone in being a master of the field. You had guys like Franz Beckenbauer, the Kaiser, who basically invented a new position. He turned the role of a defender from just a guy who tackles into the team's main playmaker, starting attacks from the back. And then Zinedine Zidane, the magician. He didn't need to run all over the place to dominate. He could control the entire pace of a game with a look, a little spin, or one perfect touch of the ball. Pure art. Okay, so for our last group, let's talk about the icons. These are the players who are maybe defined less by the stats and more by those unforgettable moments, those flashes of pure, breathtaking brilliance. Honestly, these are the guys who make us fall in love with football in the first place. You've got Ronaldo Nazario, Il Fenomeno. Before the injuries, he was just an unstoppable force of nature. At his peak, probably the most feared striker on the entire planet. Then you have Ronaldinho, the entertainer. He just reminded everybody that this is a game and it should be fun. He played with this huge smile on his face, pulling off tricks that didn't even seem possible. And we can't forget Michel Platini, a true midfield maestro whose football brain was just on another level, a goal-scoring genius who won 3 Ballon d'Ors in a row. So that brings us all the way back to the beginning. We've looked at the original kings, the modern titans, the game-changing architects, and the unforgettable icons. After all that, can we really truly pick just one? You know, maybe the whole point isn't to pick one. Maybe the real answer is that football's amazing history is a story that all of these legends wrote together. Each one added their own incredible chapter. And it's that combined legacy, that collective magic, that makes the game so special. And this final thought really gets to the heart of it, I think. Maybe this whole GOAT debate isn't about who was objectively the best. Maybe it's about something else entirely. It's about who gave you those moments you'll never, ever forget. Who made you jump out of your seat? Who made you believe that magic was real, even for just a second? That feeling, that's the real legacy. That's what makes them the greatest.